A lot of people buying their first boats and getting into boating like that. What do you think is one of the biggest misconceptions that a first time boat buyer might have when they go to buy their first boat? Hey there, sorry to take you away from the video, but real quick, did you know that on average a boat owner will spend between $1,000 and $5,000 a year just on servicing their engine? And you could actually pocket and save a lot of that money if you would just do the service yourself. It might seem like a daunting task, but I guarantee you virtually everyone can do it with our guidance and the Boaters program. This is just one skill that you could learn inside the program because we have hundreds of other videos teaching you all kinds of boating skills, as well as a weekly live stream where we have questions and answers with me, as well as a chat feature where you can send videos and pictures, ask all kinds of questions, or look for some advice or some guidance on a project that you're doing on your boat. You can join the program by hitting the first link in the description, clicking join, or visiting bornagainboating.com. Now back to the video.
Well, I think the biggest thing when you're new to the boating world, I just went to the Atlanta Boat Show last weekend. I'm going down to Charleston this weekend. And the biggest thing I hear when I talk to people is they look at a fiberglass boat or a pontoon and they can't see, like, why is this one 100,000 and the one sitting right next to it 150? And they don't understand the difference. It could be as simple as this one's got a 50 horsepower and this one's got a 250, but it looks the same from the top up. Or you look at a Grady or a Whaler compared to a Trophy or the new Bass Pro Shop Makos. They're like, it's the same boat. I don't understand why there's that big a gap. And it's because, as you and I know, it's so many things below the surface that you can't really see. And if you don't know the questions to ask or the telltale signs of this is the reason. And in my book, I talk about my dad asking the question, not what did they do different, but what's missing? How are they able to build a boat less than why is there so much more? And it's when I talk to folks, it's not that the cheaper boats aren't good. It's just that they're different. The ownership experience is going to be different. They're totally safe. They're going to be fun. You're going to get on the water and have a blast, but the ride may not be as comfortable. You may have some ticky-tacky things that fall apart in the first 3 years. 10 years down the line, you may have some extra corrosion on your wiring and some issues that come up then, but you don't think about that when you're new to the boating world.
Hey there, sorry to take you away from the video, but real quick, did you know that on average a boat owner will spend between $1,000 and $5,000 a year just on servicing their engine? And you could actually pocket and save a lot of that money if you would just do the service yourself. It might seem like a daunting task, but I guarantee you virtually everyone can do it with our guidance and the Boaters program. This is just one skill that you could learn inside the program because we have hundreds of other videos teaching you all kinds of boating skills, as well as a weekly live stream where we have questions and answers with me, as well as a chat feature where you can send videos and pictures, ask all kinds of questions, or look for some advice or some guidance on a project that you're doing on your boat. You can join the program by hitting the first link in the description, clicking join, or visiting bornagainboating.com. Now back to the video. Yeah, you might not have thought of the different brands and the construction of the boat and the quality of the products that have been going into that, which is...
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure you've seen a boat. You think of wiring. Like, all boats are wired the same. Well, not really. I mean, is it fully tinned? Is it, are you using butt connectors or are you using terminated connectors? What's the quality of that wire? And all those things you're not going to know in the first, in salt water, maybe the first 2-3 years. But 5-10 years down the line, those things are going to start to show themselves. And again, not because it's not safe. It's just that's how they get the price down. And I try to help consumers kind of understand that and then try to get in the category that they feel is right. So for me, if I drive I always say Yukon Denali, then I need to be in the premium level. That's what I'm going to be happy with. But if I drive, I've got a base Silverado. I don't care about all the extras. I just want reliable. Well, maybe that mid tier is good. Or maybe I'm going to run the boat 5 to 10 times a year. My budget's pretty tight, but I'm not handy at all and I want that warranty. Well, then maybe those value brands are a good fit for you, but I want you to know what you're getting and what you're not getting for that price.
Mm-hmm. 100%. Yeah. That's really good. So when you're looking at it like that, then what would be a good question for you to ask a dealer, like, or when you're going to buy a boat, what are some good questions that you should ask, about the boat, or like.
Yeah, so you want to ask a little bit about the construction. One of the things, and sometimes, a sales guy or a salesperson just doesn't know what their product that well. Or they don't know the competition. They're comparing it to what they knew about a brand from 10 years ago, and maybe things have changed. But you want to ask some things about, what's the warranty like. I prefer, instead of asking the salesperson, ask some people that have owned that boat, a recent model of that boat. So if you're looking new, maybe somebody with a 2022 or 2023. What's your experience? Walk the docks, go to the marina. But you can also, if you're able, it's great at a boat show because usually they'll have service folks there. Ask a technician, ask a service guy what he thinks about the brand, because they're the ones that see the problem. I used to be a salesperson, so I sold boats for 5-6 years. Sold Sea Ray, Harris pontoons, Whaler, Scout, Yamaha jet boats, and my commission was tied to you buying that boat. I was honest and ethical, but I was motivated for you to buy my boat, right?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Yeah, you go talk to the technician in service, and those guys are like, well, let me tell you the real skinny, and I
Mm-hmm.
may not even know as a salesperson that this is something that's been happening on that particular style of boat if they're not active. So that's the person at the dealership. If you can get access to them, ask them some questions about the boats and what they're seeing, in the model that you're looking at,
Mm-hmm.
because they do have some good information, and luckily, most dealerships are honest and ethical, and they really do care about their customers. You probably didn't get in the boating business to become a billionaire.
Yeah.
You got into the boating business because you love boats and you want to help people enjoy the boating lifestyle. Um, but understand their motivation is to sell you one. So I like to kind of go around the corner to get some of the information about the boats I'm looking at.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a really good tactic that's really valuable, because when you think about it, the salesman, like you said, he's trying to sell the boat. So like his goal is to close the deal. He wants to sell it. But when you go to the guy that's been on 20 of those boats, and he's worked on, this part on the boat 20 times, he can tell you, oh, well, yeah, it's a great boat, rides great, construction's great, quality's great. But when you buy it, you might want to change XYZ.
Yeah, pay attention to this. If you start experiencing this, address it right away. Then it's no big deal. If you let it go, I mean, I'm sure you've had that conversations hundreds of times with people. If you start experiencing this, then we need to address it. But you're fine until this starts happening, and that's the type of information that a technician has that sometimes a salesperson doesn't. Just that experience, and the mentality is different too. The personalities are different, so you get different answers.
Totally. You could probably even use that as a negotiation tactic too, is if XYZ needs to be addressed, like let's say it's a drain hose, or whatever. There could be whatever the issue is, you might be able to work that into the deal. If go back to your salesman, hey, if I'm going to buy this boat, I don't want to deal with XYZ. Would you take care of that on my boat before I get it, and then bring that price down, or have the issue resolved before you even take the boat? That's a
Yeah,
really good tactic.
yeah. Anything you can do, like once you write that check, your leverage is gone. But hey, if you have that conversation before you write the check and start signing paperwork, yeah, they want you to have a great experience. Like I said, most dealers are honest and ethical, and they really care. They really want you to have an enjoyable experience. And so if you can just have that conversation beforehand, it really can help you. I think about it of like this. I want you to get the best possible price you can on that boat, but I also want to make sure that your ownership experience, the next 5-10 years that you own that boat, you're like, best decision I ever made. I, versus, hey, I got a great price. This is the best. Oh man, I got a smoking deal. And then a year later, you're like, ah, crap. This isn't what I expected at all.
Uh-huh, yeah, you
So
got all these problems. And they definitely, most dealerships, like you said, they have an incentive to make sure that you're happy with your boat, because they want you to, change up the boat 5, 10 years from now. Maybe you'll grow into a new phase. Like if you started bass boat fishing and you wanted to move to not fishing anymore, but you move to a pontoon, or vice versa. You got a pontoon boat, but you want to get into bass fishing. And so you'll,
yep.
you'll migrate from one boat to another, and they want you to, come back to them for that deal.
Yeah, and the boating community in most areas is small,
Oh
so
yeah.
you do me wrong, and it doesn't take long at the sandbar to,
Mm-hmm.
or at the waterside restaurant for that word to get around the community, or now with Facebook and social media,
Mm-hmm.
for that word to get out that, hey, ABC dealership, kind of stuck it to me. Let me tell you the
Mm-hmm.
story. And they don't really truly don't want that to happen. There's a handful of bad apples out there for sure, and you've got to watch out for them by asking some questions and looking at reviews and talking to past customers. But overall, most of them want good stuff for their customers and keep their reputation in line.
So if you like this clip, you can watch the full podcast over here, or you can watch another clip over here.